Hello and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. In the last episode, we received a key in the past to direct ourselves to the future that was impacted from the future to change the past to ensure that our future is now maybe going to fix the past? If any of that made any coherent sense at all, leave down in the comments below what I just said, because I don't understand it either. That being said, I now have a key from Akane Kurashiki that we saved to now use in the botanical garden at a gravestone for some reason. But now we also have a new timeline that's just a single event. Oh, 2 events. Cool. AB game round 3 ally. Did I choose ally? Do I get a choice?
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Hey. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, interesting. When did I experience the break in time? We still had 45 minutes before we were able to cast our vote, in reality, kind of. And then we experienced the time shift of going back into before the past. So, is it possible that someone else took over our position? Or a different Sigma took over our position and cast ally for us? Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but...
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
So we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
So we pass out. So then what's the point of the jumping in which our consciousnesses swap? Wasn't that the whole thing that we just finished talking with Akane about? Is that we took over someone else's consciousness and they left theirs, and I, in the past, left mine to go somewhere else, but myself in the present went to go into the past, and now we're back to the present, which is the past's future. I looked over at Fi and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh?
Huh. Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Quark!
What am I? Chopped liver?
Alice!
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
Yeah, no problem. So what about the rest of us? No problem. All in a day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action. What the? Huh? Huh?
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Hey, I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
Oh, whatever. Forget about that.
Honestly, if she wore a swimsuit, it would probably be more covering than what she has on currently. She has an open-faced shirt with a necklace.
Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
All of our allies were cast.
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10 BP!
I've got 15 BP.
Yeah, wow.
That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours. We've played the AB game 3 times.
3 times?
Yes. Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose ally.
Nice.
And now all of us have enough to leave.
So what about Dio? What are we doing with him? I know that he's still chained up, but like, how do we go about doing this? I was stunned. How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all of our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio and Phi. Joined forces against Dio. Phi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Which, I had to admit, would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait. What about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She'd complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio, then she reluctantly complied.
All right, let's get going.
So, can I use Dio's communicator outside? Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down. The number 9 door only opens once.
What are we gonna do about Dio?
Maybe there are countermeasures in place, so Dio will never be found. Who knows?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
All right, everybody, let's move! We don't have the key to K, do we, in this realm? In this timeline? What the fuck is gonna happen to K? I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. The number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1, 0. The number 9 door is closing. The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
I guess my reward is actually going to have to be the, gold files. To learn, like, what all the purpose of each person was. Because I don't think that this is going to tell us. It might, who knows. This process takes for fucking ever.
like we did it.
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left, we found a very familiar-looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Time to get dressed. Pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to get out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute! You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Indeed, but we've already been infected, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were all already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
I feel like Kay's protective suit could rip and tear because of all the metal. No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. At last it did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. Yep, and we're back in the desert. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before, in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
Okay, didn't need to give your literal comrade lip.
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is.
Hmm?
Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
Nope. About that.
I think so.
This is where Tenmyoji chimes in. Hold on. Who else? It could be Kay, could be, Luna. Could be Quark as well. Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. And the stars. The sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive. Much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. Did I call it? I said way back when I first experienced this that this was Phobos or Deimos. And that was Mars. What's that?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. It didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet.
Yeah. So, repopulate. This is super far into the future, and we repopulated on Mars, and we were sent here?
I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before.
That's the moon. Not this. This is the moon.
That up there is the moon's shadow.
Oh, wait. No. This is Earth. Okay. Earth is destroyed. We're on the moon, casting that shadow. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. We're on the moon. Okay, so my theory was a little bit off, but it was still technically correct that we were on at least a moon.
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth.
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon, covering the sun.
What? No. No way. If that's the Earth, then where the hell are we? The moon.
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way.
Why is Quark so, like, knowledgeable about this right now? If it was Tenmyoji that set up the deal.
No, you've got to be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
She picked up a rock and dropped it.
Z, that looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Excuse me?
Okay.
What?
please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then we gave you the Excelivir, which cured you.
Okay.
The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
Okay. Symptoms. But is it the main one that makes us kill ourselves?
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6.
Ah, gotcha. So everything that so we're just, since all of us are processing things at 1/6, yeah, 1/6 times Earth's gravity, or 1/6 of Earth's gravity. Yeah, I guess. So we're all just experiencing everything extremely quickly together. And since there's no other frame of reference, well, no, there was. Zero, technically Akane, but was she? Who knows? She could have been infected as well. How did Dio get access to the moon? I don't know.
It can
Doesn't
take
matter.
a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed.
Mm-hmm. So you are talking very slowly in reality.
If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. The gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us.
Well, not you, really. You're just processing things as you should for us. Reality. You are experiencing everything in real speed and computing it for our speed.
You're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity? Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigmund Phi said something about it in the lounge.
In the lounge? In the lounge?
About how you felt weird?
Oh. That. Okay.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating.
Huh.
Like that?
Interesting. It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite well, and the reason that she could jump so high. Yeah. And the reason why Dio wasn't fucking killed with that jump.
Wait. This is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there.
Are you gonna ask about the red?
Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Yeah, about that. I love the music and just the subtle delivery. Or subtle.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028.
Right.
Today is January 27th.
In 29?
No,
Don't tell me. 30?
still no.
Then just what year is this?
If you just tell the two of them what your name is, this can be explained so quickly to those two.
It's 74. 2074.
Oh. That's insane. That would mean we were all abducted more than 45 years ago!
I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world.
Interesting. For what purpose?
On the
Uh-oh.
All 18 of them went up. All at the same time.
Same time. Purposeful or accidental?
The explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
Ow! What? Why?
I suppose it started a few months before that. The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada. On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing.
Yeah.
The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there,
Mm-hmm.
then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up.
Okay, so this is why we've seen this image in that one reverse thing before.
Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics.
Okay. Question. If Sigma existed way in the past, was abducted, and can transport between past, future, with Phi for whatever reason, I don't know why, who Phi actually is, or what connection she and I might have, why does K look like me? Why are my arms different? I've pretty much figured out this part. I already had a feeling that Tenmyoji was a part of NASA, and I already had figured out that we were on Phobos and Deimos, which actually was just the moon, and that Mars was actually the Earth. But oh well.
But for some, it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed. Thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation.
Huh. Hitting a little close to home there.
Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th, 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors. Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened. But I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe it was like an accidental infection, so it would have been technically deliberate, but I didn't know if it was that, because setting off like nukes that cover the entire Earth that are extremely powerful. It's not a future that isn't unheard of for human society, unfortunately, but why would that ever be a plan, just to bake the Earth? That would just make the Earth restart. That would mean that all human life and all life on the planet would just cease to exist. And the planet itself, planet Earth, and life is an anomaly that has to occur with such precise actions of space and time and energy around it. Again, energy. It's something so specific that all the parameters have to be met so precisely. Now, that's to say, like, is there life out there in space? Who knows? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Earth is the only one that exists now. Maybe there was life that existed before. Or maybe there will be life that comes after our planet gets fucking obliterated by the sun. Who knows? But, oh well.
And when they died, coming with me gesture, I suppose. I bet you money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan, even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is, it happened. You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosion threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires.
Oh, that. I know that phenomena should occur, heaven forbid. What's the super volcano underneath Yellowstone? Whatever. I don't know if there is an actual name for it, but if that were to erupt, that's what we imagine will happen.
It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions. A few humans who were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear.
How many species is that, honestly?
Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sun sets red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
Cool. I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought, I barely noticed Phi's approach.
Hey, Sigma.
What's up?
I think I figured something out.
Our purpose? A window popped up on the inside of my helmet with a whisper in the corner. Whisper? Oh, just between the two of us, gotcha. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
In ninth. If the ninth lion ate the sun. An extra E? Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah, the one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
Oh, you're gonna figure out the entire thing, not just ninth. Okay. What's Anna say this time?
God damn it, Sigma. Knock it off.
Okay.
Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun.
Mm-hmm.
If you rearrange the letters, you get... The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
How are you supposed to figure that out? That is so bullshit.
See? You need 6 E's to get that. So they stuck an extra one in ninth.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane.
Yep.
Remember what she was telling us?
We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of 2 people into the past. Those 2 people are you, Sigma, and you, Vi.
That's cool and all, but why us? Like, do we have some talent, innate talent that no one else in the world has? That not even you and or Clover have? Or even technically whoever Junpei or Santa or Aoi, I don't know. So, what are you getting at?
My god, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years?
Yeah. I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about.
I think so.
That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period. Before it, actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea.
Why?
Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
The tombstone, yes, but that...
Tu fui ego eris.
That's on the inside. The grave! The one in the garden!
Well, come on, what are you waiting for?
How do we get back in? We were told that the door never opens again!
Let's go.
We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind. Yeah, they have no idea what we're doing.
What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're going to have a talk with somebody.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this.
You mean Akane?
Did we explain this to them? What?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Memory... I mean... Was he ever told... I guess... Yeah, no. He was basically going to help his father with this experiment, right? Because that's what would end up with his mother dying, or his favorite person dying.
Wait, why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then.
So am I.
Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah, you know her real well.
Wait, you're not... You're serious? What the hell is going on?
Ah, shut up! Just shut up! Come on, if you want to. Come if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock. Okay, so... In this timeline, because of the world and devastation that's occurred, the whole reason why another timeline where that won't happen is because this timeline's future is going to impact that past. Wouldn't that just make two separate timelines that would just cause a paradox? Because if the people that were captured in the past go to the future, or in the future, and then impact the past, then
Clever.
they aren't in the future to stop that from happening. Thus that future impacting the past, creating that future again, which just causes like a V sort of situation, because it always just goes right back to the same situation. In my classes.
The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah, thought we might be able to take the lift to it. And it looks like I was right.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah. The grave.
You mean the grave in the garden?
Yeah. Don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move to the garden. To the garden. I can imagine Sigma doing that dumb shit. So, what is she doing exactly in this grave? And are we gonna see Tenmyoji cry and hug Akane and kiss and whatever?
Is Akane really under here?
We think. I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No. I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole on the grave? If I just insert this here. I pulled the key off of my ankle and then fitted it into the hole. I twisted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift.
What is this?
Pod 0. Interesting. And is it locked or open? I don't... no, the arrow's pointing over to the lock.
It doesn't look like a coffin.
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
She grabbed a hold of the lever on the side of the pod, excuse me. Hiccup.
No good. I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1 defrosting complete. Stage 2 will be complete in 10 minutes.
Okay, we just gotta wait then.
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right. Cold sleep.
What?
These pods can put people into cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
So, Ms. Akane's like an ice cube?
I think so?
Then we gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered.
What do you remember?
Everything. I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9.
Okay, that's cool and all, but why do we share the same face?
A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that.
The rhizome was that plant, right? That just, like, kept stemming downward?
The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon.
Holy shit.
And this is the 9th one. Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Back 45 years, right?
Yes.
So you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Oh, okay. So what's the purpose then?
Too late?
What do you mean?
Let me begin at the beginning.
Okay.
You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this.
To what extent?
But that's not entirely correct.
Right, okay.
They only followed the histories they'd already seen.
Huh. Okay.
It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension.
Does it?
That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot.
Wait,
Was a
hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi,
mm-hmm.
but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
Right, here we go.
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories.
Huh. Okay. But what about Quark, since he's so young and new, the baby?
Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028.
Mm-hmm.
The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was about to say, technically, if I remember correctly, a solar eclipse technically occurs every year. Maybe not a total solar eclipse. Like, that occurs maybe, like, once... Oh, I don't know the exact number, but the moon does cross over the sun every year on Earth. But only in the U.S. does it cause a total solar eclipse every 74 years or something like that. I think that's... No, 63? Something. Some odd number that I can't spout off in my head. So basically you see it once in your lifetime. So, well, 2 if you're lucky, depending. So, if I make it to 2074, I can actually see it, because I missed the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yeah.
Yes, in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history. You were able to perform a prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind.
I guess that would take, like, how long did she say? A decade?
Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat at mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline. Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust.
I don't know why they're substituting different words for this.
This history exists because of your presence. Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl.
Okay.
didn't you?
Alright, so this is Junpei.
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you.
See, now, I just want to bring up the fact that it took humans a very, 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 very long time with incredibly gifted and incredibly smart individuals to travel to space and to the moon. With the remainder of human society that took 50 plus years, I could understand if we got maybe boats running again. But a fucking rocket ship to the moon? And multiple? If there's multiple moon bases up here? I don't think so. But who knows?
I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, we headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out. And when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
With Dio.
Now, Dio. His real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul,
Right.
which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago.
The general population. What about to the astronauts? Because that was the initial release, right?
Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier?
Which thing?
The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released.
Right.
If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization.
Right.
Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility.
Gotcha.
They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given two tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed, at least not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9. Hence, the bombs.
Can I ask you something?
Perhaps.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
He was also an Esper.
Brother. Esper.
We can set Brother aside for now, though. May I proceed?
Sure. No one objected. We were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save two, Luna and myself. Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves.
Right.
At a later time.
Oh, okay, at a later time. I was about to say, I mean, like, it should come directly from Luna.
Would that be alright with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma, in another timeline.
Yeah, the grumpy old dude. Well, I saw a hologram. Got a watch. A glove over the arm. A monocle thing. I still don't know who he is.
Stage 2 is complete. TP00 unlocking.
It looks like it's finished. Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
Fi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah, any sign.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Huh. She did what I always do when unlocking a door. Okay. Why is there another us? What? Suddenly my head was full of memories from the other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of Floor B. In front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw... myself sleeping. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen my eyes, right? My own face. I've never figured out who he really was. I had never figured out who he really was. The only time that I've seen my eyes open was in the car, I just remembered. So I still have never seen them with color. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with a tube of curarine. And that was the end of that. But, wait. The person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse. Who was wearing Kay's armor?
You finally noticed.
Oh. Hey, Akane.
Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
No. Oh my god, you're...
Yes, I am.
So when did the old switcheroo happen?
Akane Kurashiki.
It's you.
Okay, cool. Now, who the fuck is that? If that was the original K... I guess Kurashiki would make sense. Yeah, that is another Kurashiki K. Yeah.
June. I mean, Akane. From... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover.
Well, you've been doing it this whole time, but Clover hasn't.
Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
Akane, long time no see.
I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. It felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do to not collapse right then and there.
When? How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did, at least. I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room, and then took Dio's to the 5th. After that, I went into the 1st room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you. And then Luna took your body to the 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat.
Have I been pronouncing it wrong this entire time?
Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
What? No, that's nuts!
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Yeah. So what's his name?
Him?
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
Mm-hmm.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied.
Yeah.
He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Wait, none of you have seen this face before. Wait. Is that implying that I'm not in my body?
Me either. Total stranger.
Hey, come on! What are you guys saying? Right here! Same face.
Huh?
Are you alright, Mr. Sigma?
Find a mirror. That's why the mirror was dirty! Way back when in the infirmary! Oh, that is so... Okay. That is such a bullshit way to obfuscate that. Oh, okay.
Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? It didn't make sense. Any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma.
So then what do I
Your
look like?
consciousness can jump through time.
Mm-hmm. So...
You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
So what... How old am I right now? What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
Then how do both bodies exist? Is this a cloning thing? And because that's not technically me if you're going down that route. I guess in a okay, let's see where this story goes. I looked around frantically. A pond! I ran to it and threw myself down onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. How old am I? My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it! I struggled to take deep breaths. And then slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection. Okay, yeah. I had a suspicion, but... So... Was I given enough soporil to completely erase my mind? Maybe, possibly. That would explain why my arms are cybernetic. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because I just happened to go through the apocalyptic event. Cool. Alright. What? No. This can't be real. His face.
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Luna had said, goodbye, doctor, or something like that. Yeah.
Although, to
Climb.
the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now. Zero, the mastermind of the AB project.
So... If... Pretty sure that's a clone of me. Why was I abducted in the past, then? If I did all of this to prevent the past from happening... oh well, we'll see where this goes.
Is you.
Oh god. So all those times I was hitting on women. What? No, that's not possible. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
You will be.
I mean, I was going for my doctorate, right? It was mentioned.
A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're lying!
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Create?
His name is Kyle Klein.
Okay. There's a K there. And climb. I was thinking Kurashiki, but whatever.
Your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game.
Okay, so that would explain why we got that little baby image of K. Because I'm not going to say Kyle, because K I think is the armor more so.
He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
Well, not even if it once it began. Like if something were to happen, he could just continue the research. But Kay didn't want to, or Kyle didn't want to.
I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A
There's more?
also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul, or the consciousness.
Cool.
Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin.
Cool. So anime is very close to the soul, huh?
Past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait. So the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Kind of forgot that this note existed for the longest time. Okay, so in the Nevada test site, which one is that? Ribosome 9 is B or C? I mean, there are 2 timelines. Where do they both extend? Yeah, so they both extend from point E. Uh-huh. So A goes through all this mess to circle back to E to direct it this way. Or just keep going. Maybe?
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this.
Mm-hmm.
It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began.
Mm-hmm.
December 25th, 2028.
And that's when I'm taken.
You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074.
Mm-hmm. I jump all the way up to here, gotcha.
You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, if you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach
Move to C.
Which is January 27th, 2074.
2 days from now?
That is today.
Today. Wait, so did we wake up? We woke up at B, so it's been 2 days since we initially woke up? We haven't had time to sleep at all.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad, but we would still be, like, really exhausted.
Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes.
Kind of forgot about that fact.
Comes the important part.
Jump to D, wherever that is.
After this, your consciousness will return to the past.
D was before B. So that's when we saved Akane, and then we go back to... Oh, wouldn't we go back to C? Instead of B? And then we go back to A when I was captured. Then we stop E, the nuke from ever happening. Say, what are the two stems? Why do they occur?
It will re-emerge at point D.
At point D, okay.
April 13th, 2029.
29. April 13th, 2029.
You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Okay, that's when that goes off. Gotcha.
Yes.
So the crucial point is at E when Radical 6 initially launches. That's what I'm stopping.
That is why I said it would be too late.
Okay. Because we have to go back to E instead of D.
You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal.
Yeah, so we just live through that.
Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body, until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is Sigma?
B is, January 25th, 2074. According to what you just told us, that's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
He went to the next point? Or a different point? I don't know which one. But if we're following that, then he went back to A. So he's in my younger body. Point A. December 25th, 2028. The day all of this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
Okay. So what I initially said about the two stemming timelines, maybe that is correct. Like what I'm seeing with these two arrows, because once we get here, it basically stems off into two different things. Maybe. But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
So, it's rotating?
Rotating? I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle
two
them?
boxes. It's a few boxes, is that what you're talking about? And like they exist together? Is that what we're talking about?
One single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And then it like stems at E for some reason.
With one exception.
This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out. By jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028?
Yes.
So 6 days later, that version of me just has to prevent that from happening. I don't know how we do that, but okie dokie.
That is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point. So that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said that the point C is January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029. April 13th. Point D. I should be here, right? I'm gonna have to go through those 45 years here pretty soon.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
So, how are we gonna scare me to death right now? What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out.
I'm going to die of Radical 6?
I mean this.
Oh! Okay, kind of forgot that you had that. Dio's knife? No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Horror! Fly! I screamed and leapt toward them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving toward Fai's chest. I was almost there. Huh. And I get stabbed. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body, lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. What you are, I will be... I was. I will become, something like that. What I am, you will be. Tu fui, ego eris. What you are, I was. What I am, you will be. So, with that, I am jumping back in time to after Radical 6 occurs, and then I am going to experience 45 years in preparation of this for me to go back in time to when the me now that was experiencing all of that to go through this whole game situation so that I can stop it from happening by letting 6 days pass and stopping Radical 6 from occurring, and then E will then extend, but at some point it returns back to C and that timeline goes on? Okay. I get the story, but this ending isn't landing for me. There's gotta be like one more like last little bit of story after the fact. There has to be. If there isn't more, this is gonna leave me with a bad taste in my mouth, because it feels unfinished, because quite literally it is. It's unfinished. And maybe it's written like that on purpose. We'll see. The Phi end. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. So, I'm going in the past again? Time after time. Interesting. Let's overwrite the save. Now, if I hit escape... And this is before all of this happens. I'm going to leave this episode right here, because I don't know how long this can take, because this feels like it could go on for, like, 3 hours plus from this point on. Or I just attach it to this episode. You'll find out. Who knows? In the case that the ending does take forever to do, this ending is going to be here. Thank you so much for coming out. Hopefully you're looking forward to what is the last little bit of this game. But for now, I'll leave you with one final message. In that being, have a nice day.